So welcome to this episode of the Holly Hughes Podcast. I am exceedingly, ridiculously excited to talk to Wendy Valentine, who is the host of her own amazing and popular podcast, the Midlife Makeover Podcast, that I got to be a guest on, but whatever. And she is an author, and her book is coming out, and it is Women Waking Up. And thank you, Wendy, for coming. I am wearing pink for you because it's your color.
Look, and I've got my pink glasses.
I know. And the nails and the lips.
I know.
Good.
I mean, it always brightens your mood a little bit, right? Just add a little color.
Well, you brighten my mood because, like I told you before we hit record, I'm a little cranky. Life has been lifing a little bit lately. So, but like you are just sparkles, which will lead into parts of your book. But I don't really want to jump ahead. This podcast is really about creative people talking about what it is to live a creative life. So we have a lot to cover with you.
Ooh.
We do, right?
Yeah, we do.
You have a lot. And I'm going to split between like your podcast and your creativity and your bravery, right? Because I don't know that you touch upon your bravery at all in your book. You were like, and then I picked myself up. And then I decided I'm not going to be depressed. And then that bitch in my head, I told her, shut up. And I was like, oh, but to do that and feel all the things that you have to feel to get there. Yeah. I think you downplay the huge amount of work you did to do that. So I would like to first.
Yes.
Like not sarcastically give you applause, but like, there's that meme going on, like the women applauding themselves for doing things. And
you can have Andy make a meme of us right now.
I mean, I would really much more do a booty shake because I like to dance, right? Like that would be my thing for you. And I probably mistakenly feel like we're slightly friends at this point because I always just want to talk to you. But so tell me, my honest first question is, do you think you were always creative and just didn't know it?
Oh, no. I believe we're all creative. We're all creative in different ways, right? I think with the way my life went for 20, 30 years, that I didn't quite get to really be creative the way I wanted to be. Deep down, I always knew I would be a writer or a public speaker or have my own show. I knew that, but like you said earlier, life happens, right? Like shit happens. Yeah. And so you just keep going and going and going. And then sometimes you'll wake up and go, wait a second, what am I doing? Where am I at? Who am I? So backstory, I know you've read my story, but yeah, so mid-40s, went through divorce, chronic illness. I had black mold toxicity, Lyme disease, and we'll throw in menopause. Just for fun.
So
yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun. The night sweats and everything.
Those are the best.
And I was unemployed and then had a massive amount of debt. And within a 6-week period, my dog died, my cat died, and then my brother died. So needless to say, I was a little depressed, suffering from anxiety and panic attacks.
What did depression look like for you? Like, because it's sneaky, right? Because it can kind of like creep up on you. And then suddenly you're like, oh my God, I'm that woman on the TV show saying, are you depressed? I don't want to get off the sofa. I'm not really hungry. Or you're rabid. Like what was it like for you that way, that feeling of it?
It was odd for me because I always had to be happy and lift everybody else's spirits up. So I didn't have time for depression. But depression was literally like, no, I'm going to shove you down into the cushions of the couch until you face all of this. So depression was pretty challenging for me. It just really shocked me. I didn't like it. I mean, who does? But I didn't like it because I didn't feel like myself at all. But it made me face that dark night of the soul, right? And I had to take a really strong look at my life and myself. And I couldn't figure it all out overnight, the old fashioned way of what I used to do. I'd plan everything because I was such a perfectionist.
You are a planner, by the way. I could tell. Your
Yeah.
book is very like detailed, right? You're like, which is no, it really is good.
Yeah.
I am, as a writer, a pantser. Like for me, like I come at creativity as like I have this overwhelming feeling, an emotion, a truth, a story, an idea that I have to get out, right?
Yeah.
And then I just vomit on the page, and then I work all the business side of it much later. But going through your book, you were like,
Yeah.
no, this first. No, bitch. This first, slow up. No, go back to this. Okay, now
Yeah.
that I've given you this and you've conquered it, now I'm going to give you this. Are you paying
Yeah.
attention? You're this and then this. Like I was like, ooh, that was fun
You know,
to
one thing,
read.
I know we're hopping around a little bit, but I have found that most of us creatives, well, we're all creatives, but writers and artists, right? We create what we needed. And so I created this because it's what I needed. I needed this guidebook to tell me this is what you need to do to get out of this funk and get out of depression and to change your life and to be a new woman. I needed that. And I'll admit, like I went to Barnes and Noble one day. This was because I was so depressed. I was like, I'm going to Barnes and Noble and I'm gonna get a new book because that'll solve my problems, right? And I got a little cup of coffee and I'm looking in the self-help section, which is my section, because I've read all the books.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, none of them, they're all great and amazing books, but it was more fluff and less formula. I needed someone to tell me exactly what to do. And so I remember thinking as I stared at that bookcase, I was like, one day I'm going to write a book that actually tells a woman, this is what you need to do to feel good again and to feel
that.
Yeah.
I love that you said formula, and I find that scientific part of your mind fascinating. Right,
Yeah.
because your personality is big and vivacious. And what's your superhero? Which one is it? Which superhero
I'm
are
Spark.
you?
Superhero Spark. I'm going to guess you're probably Sage.
You think Sage? I thought the first one.
Spark. I think you're a blend of so superhero Spark and then Sage. They're both creatives. Yeah. Spark is a little bit louder.
I'm definitely not that anymore. I'm definitely not that. You're definitely the Spark. No, wait, I literally wrote it down. Where's my
No, what did you end up
doing? No, I did. I thought I wrote Spark at first, but I think a little bit of Sage. I mean, like it depends on my mood, right? Where I own my moods. But what I did when I went to Barnes and Noble, literally also Barnes and Noble, bless them, because I had a book signing there too. But before my book went out, I went through their self-help. I was like, this isn't really anything that I like. And my book was now a couple of years old, right? Now it is, not then. And I went and put my business card inside of every self-help book.
That's awesome.
I did. I was like, if you want this, you should maybe just talk to me. Let me help you through this. Slip.
There's a bookmark for you. And by the way, buy my book. That's awesome. That's master marketing skills right there.
I also dropped my book off in Korea, right? Because my thing is I talk about Korea. It's a Starfield library. And it's massive and it's beautiful and it's in a lot of K-dramas. And I went there and I met some women. We became like friends. I love these women now, but they helped me put my book into the library. I went into the self-help. It's on the second floor. I've had someone go back and it was still there, but now it's not there. They probably were like, what is this English language book doing in a Korean library? But that was fun too. It's part of being a little bit daring, but okay, wait, back to you.
Going back to that moment. And I just realized that if my life was going to change, I had to change. I had to have those real conversations with myself. So and it's silly, but I always had this dream of driving an RV across the country. And here it was, I was 45 years old and I thought, oh my gosh, my 50th birthday is coming up. And
there's 5 years in between people. She's rushing the process. There's 5 years between.
I know. But first things first, I had to get a job. And I got a job in Chicago selling houses.
I love that.
New construction houses. I have never done that before. And I thought, what the hell? Did you ever watch this Seinfeld episode with George Costanza when he did the opposite day?
Oh my gosh.
My
Yes.
favorite. And I remember thinking, I was like, you know what? What if I just do the opposite of everything that I've ever done and just go for it? So I did. I got a job in Chicago, and 4 weeks later, I moved from Virginia to Illinois. Had never really been there before, maybe changed planes there once or twice before, and got there on a Saturday, started my new job on Monday with the full intention of, I am going to one day buy an RV and take off across the country. Here's what was different from with the old Wendy. The old Wendy would not have even made a move unless she had everything laid out, perfectly laid out. Because I am a recovering perfectionist, people pleaser, codependent, approval seeker. That's me. Again, I was like, none of that has worked for me in the past. I have got to change my ways. And I did. So I worked my ass off, and then, recovered from chronic illness. I sought therapy so I could recover from the depression, the anxiety. It was little steps, each one, not trying to reinvent myself overnight, because Rome wasn't built in a day,
Right.
neither will the new you.
And your
right?
book helps women do the same exact things.
Yeah.
It helps other people be like, okay, I can do this concrete step. This works. This will help support me in making this happen.
Yeah.
And you have that beautiful tool of evaluation, right?
Yeah.
Like to really evaluate, is this working? What's my scale? How high or low am I at? Where am I at?
The
I
wheel of
love that.
midlife. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really
And I
important.
did. I still look at that. I still now I do it kind of in my mind, but I think about those 8 categories of life, right? Family, finance, health, career, friends, love, leisure, and growth. And if you, from 0 to 10, if you rank it 0 being totally dissatisfied to 10 being satisfied and fulfilled, where do you rank each category of your life? And it is such a good way to do that, to evaluate your life, to go, okay, where do I need to fine tune some things? Maybe I need to be sleeping better. Maybe I need to improve my finances. Maybe I need to save more. Maybe I need to play more. Maybe I need better relationships. And it's not the point of, I don't believe that you have a perfectly round wheel that is always rolling smoothly. It'll always be a little bumpy, because that's life, right? And that the goal isn't to have a perfect life. The goal is,
we don't do perfect. We do real.
We don't do perfect. I cannot do perfect. I can't do it anymore. I don't.
It's fake. It's not real anyway. Like perfect is scared. Perfect is you're scared.
Yeah.
I'm not living up to such this expectation, my expectation, how do I need to make things better here? How do I get a sense of control over what is going on? I'll make this look this. Anytime I walk into someone's house and it's immaculate, and every pillow has that crease, and there's no dust, and there's nothing on the kitchen counter, especially if there's nothing on I don't trust them. I know they're so out of control in some aspect of your life, like not yours, but of their life. I'm like, I can't wait to hear the story that's coming out, or the confession, because people always, before I started like working as a healer, people would confess these wild things to me. I'd be like, you don't have to tell me that. Like I don't know you. Like you don't have to just like tell me so you feel better. But like, yeah, that need for perfection, or even when people are, there's like looking beautiful and feeling good about yourself, however, and whatever that is for you. But then there's also
just embracing who you are, just
Yeah.
embracing the messiness. Life gets messy. We get messy. It's totally okay. And I think done is better than perfect, right? Just do it. And speaking of, there was a quote that I had. It was above my laptop during my midlife meltdown, if you will. I don't like to call it a crisis. It's a bit of a meltdown. And it's from Marianne Williamson. And it's, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And here's the really important part that you need to listen to. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And I remember sitting there one day at my desk before I had started changing my life. And I asked myself, okay, Wendy, what if you fully stepped into your light? Not even so much, what would I do, but who would I be? Because if we were to fully step into our light as a creative, as a human being, who would we really be? And sometimes that's scary, because that means that if you step into your light, you might need to make some changes in your life.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, for
right now, the
me, yeah.
world rewards dark. Right now, the
Oh, yeah.
world rewards being an asshole or
Yeah.
being judgmental or being
Yeah.
horribly cruel, right? So
Right.
if you take what like the 7 seconds of social media will tell you is
Yeah.
important and then you apply it to you as a whole person, it just shrinks you.
Right. Yeah.
No shrinking.
So I think that's an important question we need to ask ourselves is, who would I be if I fully, authentically stepped into my light, stepped into my truth? What would I have to do to be that person? Because sometimes you might have to quit a job. You might need to move across the country or to another country. You might need to leave a marriage. You might need, who knows? But to really give yourself permission to be the true you, that's where the courage is.
I
And
like
it's
that.
not, you can't do it for anybody else, right? We all know that. Like, we can't change anybody else. I can't give you a jar of courage. Like, let's say, here's my glass here. I can't, like, here you go. Here's a big old jar of courage for you. Okay, Holly, you go and take that and just do whatever the hell you want. I had to fill this up myself. You have to fill up your jar of courage yourself. And you do that by taking action. So it's not like you have this one aha moment after another in your mind. You're like, okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to fully go all out in my life. No, you start to take the steps, you stumble, you take another step, you stumble. And it's just being okay with it. It is about being messy. But every single thing is so rewarding, even when you stumble. It is so rewarding. I didn't know how to drive a freaking RV.
I know. I'm so impressed by that.
I mean,
Can I stay in the lines? I don't
and
know.
I know all of it. I didn't know how to do any of it. But there's that quote of leap and the net will appear.
Mm-hmm.
You leap and the net will appear, and you realize the net isn't outside of you. It's not that someone tosses you a net. You are the net.
Now you're
It's
getting it
you.
right. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
what is also fascinating in getting to know you over the past like 2 years, I think,
Yeah.
right, is that your evolution, right, and your comfort, it's like, it's really interesting. You and I have sort of similar stories in that, like, I had a bunch of horrible things happen. I moved across the country. I didn't know anyone. I crashed on my friend's floor and I was like, well, if this person who wasn't all that smart, I know that's judgmental, just go with me. So
Yeah.
anyway, this guy that my friend was sleeping with moved to LA and he got a job. I was like, if they hired him, they'll hire me. I was like, are you hiring? I called. They're like, can you start Monday? I said, yes. I left my roommate 4 months of rent and left.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know anything. I just kind of like, I did that leap. But at the same time, just like you also mentioned in your book, wherever you go, you are taking you with you. You can't just like pick up and erase everything. You can
Yeah.
start over. You
Yeah.
can make a lot of different choices. And then I moved from LA back down to North Carolina, which if you ever told me I was going to live here for as long as I have and do, I'd be like, you no.
Yeah.
But it was a choice that was good for my family.
Right.
And remarkably enough, my creativity took off in a place where I feel like an outlier, which is like fascinating. In LA, my weird is so normal. It's like, yeah, everyone is like that. You know, when I got there, I was like, oh my God, I'm not weird at all. I've just been in the wrong spot. But I couldn't play the toxic game forever there, which there is.
Yeah.
There's a little selling of your soul, I think, for me, when it comes to film and entertainment, like film and TV stuff.
Yes.
You have to have a level of needing to be seen or needing to people please to make that creative crucible work.
Right. Yep.
And it ultimately wasn't for me. And when I left there, that's where when I found my voice as a writer. Hey friends, I just wanted to take a second to tell you about Hughes Realty Advisors. If you're a regular listener to the Holly Hughes Podcast, you've definitely heard me talking about my husband, aka Man Candy, as I like to call him. As it turns out, Russell, aka Man Candy, is a pretty talented commercial real estate advisor too. For more than 20 years, Russell has helped hundreds of clients all over the U.S. find the right spaces for their operations. Companies like Netflix, Citibank, KB Homes, Shell, and many more have trusted him and his team to help them take their next steps. I love my Man Candy because he really cooks the best shrimp and grits, but he's also a specialist at site selection, financial analysis, lease auditing, negotiation, and so much more. So if you're trying to find a home site for your business, hit up Man Candy, aka Russell Hughes, and his team at Hughes Realty Advisors. Tell him you're a fan of my podcast. So where did you find your voice as a writer? How was that process for you?
Well, so this actually just came up the other day and I kind of forgot about it, but I fell in love with writing when I was a pastry student in Paris. I know. And this was, oh gosh, I'm so bad about time, maybe 10 years ago. So I was like, you know what? And I love cooking. I love baking. I'm a really good French pastry chef. And if I might say so myself.
Is that why it was so hard to get rid of the pans when you moved into the RV? Was that part of it?
No, I still saved one of my chef coats. I was like, I cannot get rid of it. Anyway, so this was when I was living back in Virginia, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to pastry school. I always wanted to do that. This was the time when I was trying to figure out what the heck am I going to do with my life? Am I going to be pastry, chef? Am I going to be a yoga teacher? What the hell am I doing? And I was like trying anything and everything. So everyone was asking me, this was a little bit, not before social media, before we were really sharing a lot of our lives on social media. And people were asking, well, how are we going to know how you're doing in school in Paris? And I was like, maybe I'll start one of those blogs, So in every single day I wrote on Tumblr. Every single day I did my blog. I went to school, walked back to my little apartment. I got a baguette, chocolate, and bottle of wine. And I sat on my tiny little balcony and I wrote about my day. And this is nuts, within about 6 weeks, I had over 80,000 subscribers. Isn't that nuts? And I was like, why are these people wanting to read about my day in pastry school? And that was when I really fell in love with writing and just letting my soul speak. And without being limited, just writing whatever I wanted to write. And it wasn't anything, I didn't have to come up with anything. That was my subject. And it was kind of fun because then when every day would start, I was like, ooh, wonder what's going to happen today in school or outside of school, walking. I mean, one of the things I love to do was baking all the pastries during the day. And then after school, when I was on my way home, I'd feed the homeless. That was one of my highlights. Love that. So I'd write about that. And this is to answer your question. Finally, one day I'm in the locker room. Now this school is Le Cordon Bleu in Paris, and people come from all over the world to go to this school. And this German girl comes up to me. She's probably mid-20s. And she said, are you Go Wendy Go? That was my handle name. And I was like, yes. And she goes, and it makes me want to cry. She goes, I want to thank you so much for writing every single day. She said, I found your blog and it inspired me to follow my dreams of becoming a pastry chef. And I was like, whoa, like that, the power of words, of creativity, of sharing, of just allowing yourself to fully be can change someone's life. It's fascinating.
I love that. Yeah. So you have no insecurity about it though. That's the part that I find.
Oh, I do.
But that's part of living.
But I don't care.
How does it show up, or what does it sound like for you? Or Like, there can be days, like I like to tell people who are not creative, sometimes creative people need downtime because
Yeah.
we need distance from stuff we're working on, or we need space, or there's an idea and it's not fully formed. Like that's part of my process. And then I can accomplish more in an hour and a half when I'm
Yeah.
focused, and a lot of people can in 2 weeks. Like I'm just like, I'm there, I'm in the zone,
Yes.
stay away, don't talk to me. So what is your like process? Like, how do you ride the high and the low, the little bumps in your wheel?
Okay. Epiphany. Right before or not, well, not right before, actually. It was right after, excuse me. After I took off in the RV across the country. I know we're kind of like back and forth, but
people can follow.
Yeah, people can follow. Y'all got this. I took off in the RV, and my first stop was Santa Fe, New Mexico. And there, I ended up doing a ketamine journey there,
I was
which
going
was
to ask.
freaking awesome. Yes, it was amazing. And during that whole journey, the thing that I needed the most was this one epiphany. And it was, Wendy, get out of the way. I mean, it's basically my soul telling me, you need to step aside. Because I was blocking, we all do, we block ourselves. We do it all the time. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. We are our worst critics and enemies. It's so sad. So from that moment forward, I thought, okay, what if I just step aside? What if I allowed my heart to just feel whatever it wants to feel, and let my soul say whatever it wants to say, even if it's not said perfectly or written perfectly? I was so exhausted being a perfectionist. I could not do it anymore. And the thing I realized is that I had spent half of my life, considering if I am lucky enough to live to 100, I spent half of my life making sure everyone else was happy and that I was perfect, so everybody else was happy and everyone is good, and let me do all of this and this and this. And in the end, I was like, shit didn't matter. And I was miserable because I wasn't being my true self. I was living life for everybody else.
So was your voice different? Like, did you look different? Like, I'm so curious because like I can't imagine you any other way. Right.
Yeah.
I think people who know me, like, you might know
I
this
was
slice
different.
of me. Like you'll be like, oh, that's Holly. Like I didn't wear my hair curly today because I can't compete with your amazing curls. And I'm just saying. So I blew it out for you last night after dance class.
It
But
looks good though. I like it. Yeah.
but I'm curious as to like what you look like. If when I see pictures of me when I was deep in my people pleasing,
Yes.
like there are moments where my smile is the same and stuff, but it's in the eyes, right?
Uh-huh. When I look back, it's so funny because one of the things I did, and part of my decluttering, because since I sold everything, one of the things I did is I went through thousands of photographs so that I could scan them, right? Mm-hmm. And in that process, you take a little, travel through your history. And I'm looking at all these pictures. I couldn't even connect with that girl or that young woman. I was like, oh, and I actually felt really sorry for her. I felt bad for her. Like, I just wanted to hug the picture because I was like, oh, that poor thing. If she only knew that she's wasting her time with all of the bullshit that she worries about. It's not freaking worth it. It is so not worth it. So I always appeared to have my shit together on the outside, but on the inside, I was always questioning myself. I was always worried. I was always thinking about the most ridiculous stuff. Is this good enough? Is that exhausting? I couldn't keep up with it. And I had to give myself permission to just be and to just allow and and don't we, like, we see some of these people that are out there, whether they be, movie stars mm-hmm. or someone on Instagram, that they're just bold AF. And you're just like, damn, it's refreshing.
I think there's a difference, I think, for me, because I can read people, right?
Yes,
so,
right.
Sometimes I'm looking at them, I'm like, stop.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
yeah.
just stop. Like, whatever.
Sometimes.
Like, I know what's really going on. You need to
Yeah.
stop. And I would rather be honest. Like, I always tell people I'm moody, but I own my moods.
Yeah.
So, like my dog died last week, so I was very, very sad.
Oh, well, shit.
I
No wonder you're having a
Yeah,
shitty week.
exactly.
You're the
So
third person to tell me
good,
that.
now that it's done, everyone's pets are safe. But so for
No,
me, I am
I'm sorry.
that's okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a delayed, like I go deep and then I'm kind of not on the planet. Like my husband was like, "Hello, where are you?" I was like, I didn't know how I was, see, I'm getting upset. I didn't know how I
Okay.
was gonna like react, but like I didn't realize how
Mm.
often in the day I reached for him or spoke to him or touched him because I
Mm.
work a lot from home. So he was always
Oh, you're making
right.
me cry.
Right. So because you keep your puppy with you too. So like,
Mm.
that connection and then like, where are you? And then I was like, oh, sometimes when I'm in that deep grief, we'll just call it
Mhm.
grief, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes some of my best ideas or stories or thoughts or the start of something happens.
Mhm.
I find it really hard to be prolific, I guess, because I
Mhm.
judge how good I can be, right? When I'm super
Mm.
happy, because I
Yeah.
want to be in the moment of happiness. How about
Mhm.
you because you unpacked a lot? You had a great deal of loss, like
Yeah.
in intense loss.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, do you think that was part of like what cooked more of your voice and your creativity?
Yeah.
And did you give yourself ever like permission to like write angry? Because like again, I can't,
Yes.
I've seen you worried like when your car was on fire. Don't even get me started. When I saw that video, I was like, girl, you're dragging a car that is on fire. And don't tell me that two angels didn't show up and unhook it for you.
Oh, was that not weird? That was a trip. Two good old boys just like jumped out with just fire extinguisher. So to answer your question,
Yeah, the emotional part. Like, so right now, like you have this huge book, you did the proposal, you've been found, you have your
mhm,
voice, but are you more creative in an emotionally charged space?
I allow to whatever comes up comes up. And the way I look at it too, there's something for everyone out there. So some people might like Michael Jackson and some people
Mm.
don't. Like his music. Some people prefer Kid Rock. I don't know, right? But so that's the way I look at it. Like even with this book, some people might hate it. Some people might love it. Some people might have transformation. Some people be like, well, that didn't do a damn thing for me. Whatever. Like you have to have this nice, just
How are you so
detached.
even about it? Like, are
You
you not
have
like,
to
oh my
be
God, my
detached.
words are out there? No, this is fascinating to me. My
Yeah,
neurosis comes out in that part, and you're
yeah,
like, no, man, I'm good.
yeah. You have to be detached because what is worrying going to do?
I don't know
It's
that
not
I'm
going
worried. That's a really good question. I'm really good about doing the work and putting it out there. Like I feel good, but
to.
then knowing it's out there, then I'm like, oh, this, like, these strangers can leave like weirdo. I get some weird comments. I can't imagine what you get. Right.
Oh
So
God. Oh yeah. They're so
like,
creepy. Especially like on TikTok. I get that I never go on my messages and then I looked on there one day and I was dying, cracking up. And these guys like, I want to be your sugar daddy. Give me your bills. And I wrote back, I was like, you don't want my bills. Trust me. You do not want my bills. just
so
just
crazy.
handling just paying for all my hair conditioner will kill you. I was like, no, you don't want my bills. But you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the beautiful part of loss. You realize the beauty of life
Mm.
and the life that if you're listening right now, that means you're breathing. We hope so. It means you're living life. It is a gift. When I think back, not to be like everyone pull out your violin and feel sorry for me, but my first husband died at the age of 26 years old, died in his sleep. We have no explanation for it. Just his heart stopped beating at 26 years old.
So crazy.
And then my brother died, although drug addiction, at 49 years old. Still, to have life means that you can be you. And someday, Holly Hughes and Wendy Valentine will be forgotten. Mm-hmm. Maybe it might take 20 years, 50 years, but someday. So why do we give a shit what anyone thinks? Because we'll be gone, they'll be gone. Why does it matter? Like, why not just go all out and just see what can happen? Like, why not?
I love that. I agree. Why not? I mean, I do things like
what's
that
the worst
too.
that can happen?
You fail or it doesn't work and you get to do it again.
Well, then you know what too? I think we ask ourselves that question of like, what is success? You know, like, well, what is success? Mm-hmm. What's success to you and to me? Well, what is failure? What is failure? What do you mean? It's the opposite. But who's to say what is a failure? I mean, I don't know how many times like the light bulb was trying to be invented. And what if they just gave up after one time? Well, that was a failure. Like, thank God. I mean, I've got this gigantic ring light in front of me right now. So thank God we haven't. Thank God they pushed through, you know? So I just don't believe in failure. I just don't.
That. Like, I always wanted to be a writer. And when I was in film and TV, when I was leaving my starter marriage because it was horribly abusive, and I was like, I wanted to write. So let me learn to write again. And, you know, I was working 12, 14-hour days plus an hour commute. I was like, where am I sneaking in? Like, it's not like I can go somewhere, but somehow I managed. I took a UCLA extension creative writing class. And I found out I was terrible. I was a terrible writer. And it's just because I hadn't used it. I hadn't owned my own creativity because I thought that this person was better or this person was better. If I give them my idea, they'll make my idea better. No, that's just crap. That's just total crap. And we don't have to monetize everything in this as a creative person. But if you don't actually let it out, I think it weighs on you. It weighs on your soul. It makes you feel like dull and less than it. I think it doesn't let you fully step into, like you said, your light.
Right. I mean, I wasn't doing any of my creative work for decades.
But pastry,
I was
let's talk about cooking because I hate cooking and I'm a good cook and I'm resentful. I'm resentful of that. Like, I don't understand the joy of breaking everything out. And
that's just not your thing. That sort of thing ain't your bag, baby. Just embrace it. You don't dig it. Don't do it.
I have the craziest craving for baked clams. Like,
interesting.
No, it's really weird. I came home from dance class last night. I walked in the house. I was like, I want like, was it Clams Casino? It's like such a Long Island. Don't judge. That's where I grew up. Like, it was such like when I grew up, when I was little, we used to go to this town, Port Jeff, and like all the restaurants, you had like all the stuff outside. I don't think people walk or do things in person anymore, but back in the day, like, and as teenagers, we would like walk up and down. I remember eating like fried clams. Like, I can't eat fried food now because, you know, the pause, but like, I'm just saying like all this stuff. And I came home, I was like, I was like saying it right now, I'm getting really hungry. I was like, where do I get that here? I don't even know if it exists. I might have to cook it. I might have to figure that one out because I really, really want it. But like, right, like even like a thought like that for anyone who's creative, right? Like there's this need. There's a need to do something and get it out. I think that is the beauty of creative people in general. Like whatever your gift is in it, when you're denying it, you're not fully you. So please don't deny it.
Yeah. And you have to figure out what works for you. Like I'm a morning creator. I mean, when I wrote my book, I wrote it in 60 days, over 65, I know, 65,000 words in 60 days. You can tell it was like built up in me. But I got up at 5 a.m. and I went straight like in the dark and had a little light there in the kitchen and just boom, just did it. That's my style though. There are people that like to, I have a friend, Camille, she would write 30 minutes every single day. And that's how she did it. I couldn't do that because it takes me 30 minutes just to get into the groove, you know? I'm like, I'm just getting going. I'm like, but that's how I am. But you have to figure out what works for you. Some people are afternoon writers or evening writers or whatever.
I'm a napper in the afternoon. That's what I want to do. I want to take a nap. I don't want to be creative.
And I think you try different things. As a matter of fact, you have to, allow yourself to try different things and to pivot when you need to pivot. For example, I just made a decision this week.
Let's hear it.
You ready? And as you know, I'm pretty active on social media and all the things. Mm-hmm. And it can be overwhelming. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I have the podcast. That's a lot of work, as you know, right? Mm-hmm. And I miss writing. I miss those old pastry days of blogging. I was like, I miss that. I want that style of it. Because, when you write a book, a published book, that part has to be perfect and goes through like 10 different editors, right? I miss that. So here's my decision in this last week. Instead of before I had 3 Facebook accounts, pages, an Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, one other one. I said goodbye to YouTube. I said goodbye to TikTok and Pinterest. And all I have now is one Facebook account, one Instagram account, which those basically are the same, just different, mm-hmm. It's the same stuff. And I'm going to start doing Substack.
Okay, so I have been avoiding Substack. So you start and then you let me know because
why? Because
it's work. It's more work right now. And I'm like,
I know.
New podcast. I literally have 3 books in edit and I have a book due to an editor in like 2 weeks that I got to tell you.
Let's talk about that though. The overwhelm is which happens with a lot of creatives where we try to put too much onto ourselves and then sometimes we just freeze or we get paralyzed, but because we put too much onto ourselves that we're not doing anything really. But
I think for me, it is the learning of a new thing, right? Like, so honestly, my TikTok, I just started a new one for the podcast. Obviously there's like minimal followers. I was like, I'll just start that there. I go on TikTok to talk about K-dramas, right? Like I always talk about this, right? Like I love Korea. So I watch, that is like oh my God, I worked really hard. I've done all my public and private things. I've done all my business things, right? I have 2 businesses I'm running. Okay. And then I'm going to go chill out to these fantastical stories because something about it just makes me happy. So that's my happy place.
Yeah.
So I don't care if I have a following because I just don't care. So I like my Instagram and my favorite is just watching my numbers like go up 2,000 and down 2,000, up and down. I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, do I care? No, I don't like, cause I started this podcast for camaraderie because sometimes as a creative, I feel really lonely because I'm in a town of bankers. Like there are super creative people around me, but we're all slightly introverted, right?
It's lonely, doesn't it? Isn't that interesting though? As much as we're engaged and we're connecting and we're sharing, we're doing all the things, but we're like, it's so lonely out here.
And then I retreat. And then
that was one of my other reasons of doing that because yes, I have amazing guests like yourself. I think you were on twice, actually. Yeah, I know. That I get to connect with, right? But it's more of a monologue. I put the audio out there and I'm like, I don't know. I can look to see people are listening, but I don't get anything back. I'm like, okay. And then Facebook and Instagram, kind of same thing. You're like putting the shit out there like, all right. And the reason I wanted the Substack was for my own soul to be able to get back into writing and to sharing and for connection. So
what's it going to focus on though? Is it going to be midlife makeover stuff or is it going to be more personal?
Midlife-ology.
So it's a cocktail. You're sharing cocktail recipes? Yes.
But like just different ideas that I have that I want to write about. I don't always want to step in front of a camera and I love the cameras, I love recording, making videos, but I don't always want to do that. And I feel like that's what's lacking right now for me. So we have to tune into our muse and go, what do you need? As we know, we'll get busy. We'll get busy with writing or we'll get busy creating, trying different things. And we have to stop every now and then and be like, all right, what do you need? What's wrong? And it's like, what's that movie with the baseball field, build it and they will come, right? You just build it and they will come. Whoever comes. Whoever doesn't, whoever listens, watches, whatever it is that you're creating, you have to detach from that because whatever makes you feel good is going to be good.
Oh my God, this is so funny. So forever, a bajillion years ago, when I mean, I was in my 20s, so bajillion, like 17 lifetimes ago at this point. So I'm an intuitive people. I could see, hear, and feel things. I think the first time we recorded, dude, you had a thing in your kitchen that I still like. It was like this little goblin. I was like, that thing is annoying me. So I could just see it like hovering over your head. It was really wild. Anyway, but so like I have this thing, and I got a reading, and the gentleman who gave me the reading, his name is Tolo. That's what he goes by now. I forget what it means. And it was a trippy experience for me because I mean, like I knew I would get hits, but I had no control over any of my gifts. So like I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that you didn't have it. Like there was like a lot of I didn't knows.
Yeah.
And we were sitting face to face, and he opened his eyes, and his eyes were completely black. Like his pupils had dilated. So like, I was like, what the hell? And in this very first reading, he told me my spirituality was as big as a whale above me. And that my life had this meaning that I didn't even understand yet, that I had secrets and I had a lot of secrets at that time. I had been assaulted. I had a lot of things that I didn't tell anyone. And
Yeah.
he's like, you have secrets, but we all know them. Right. And then
Wow.
and I think they were like, I wanted the impossible in a man. They told me that my reading was like, you wanted someone emotionally available and masculine. They're like, it doesn't come in a package like that. And then I know. And then they told me later that, that I would not be traditionally found like as a writer, as a creative. And that just, see, I get mad,
Did
right?
that
So
piss you off?
it pissed me off. I was like, what do
Why
you
did that
mean?
make you mad?
As you're telling me I'm not good, I heard you're not good enough. You're not good enough. That's all
That's
I
what you
right.
heard. Yeah.
That's what I heard. What I heard as a young dancer, you're not good enough. You're not. Fuck yes, I am.
Yeah.
So that I always say that fuck you. Again, it's an adult content show. So fuck you is a fossil fuel. It'll only get you so far. Like if you don't have more to it, you'll burn out, right? You can't sustain. But for me, like what I love listening about your process is you're like, yeah, my light, this is how it's coming. And for me, it was, well, if this is what I want to write, I'm not a really good writer yet. Let me get better at writing again. Let me learn it, and then learning it. And then I was like, oh, this is my voice. If you read my work, if it's an essay or fiction, you can know it's my work because the way I tell story, right? So there's that. And then there's the business of publishing, which is a whole other thing that has nothing to do with talent, everyone. It has nothing. And I've been in publishing long enough to like be here at the infancy of self-publishing and how the stigma of that has changed. And so for my ego, I was like, you're just telling me I can only do that. And now I'm like, now I have a bajillion avenues, different mindset, right? I have so
Yes.
many different ways of reaching people to share the stories that I want to. And I am nonlinear. And what I love personally about like essays and memoir is that you could do those braided stories, right? That you can weave in this thought, this moment, and like be like that. But so I find you fascinating because I'm a process person,
Yeah.
right? I need this, and this. And I'm like, no, don't tell me the process, man. I'm going to do it my way. Like, so where we have rules that affect us are in different spots along the journey.
I think for me, it was for so long, most of my life, my creativity had been cut off. I didn't allow myself to allow it to flow. So when I finally made that decision and turned on the faucet, I was like, it's go time.
I love it.
Because
Right.
I was miserable. I was miserable without that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
why
so
would
do you
I?
still
Yeah.
bake then? Are you like cooking? Okay, so you're in, can we say what country you're in? Do you like telling people? I think
Oh
you told
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
No,
in
yeah.
Portugal, right?
I'm on the island of Madeira, Portugal,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually closer to South Africa than it is to the mainland. But when I sold everything a few years ago, after I rebuilt my life in Chicago, and then I took off in the RV, I sold everything except for a few boxes of French baking pans. So
I love that.
they are right now in storage in Arizona, and they're still there just in case if I can bring them here, or who knows. I'm kind of open right now to what life sends my way.
Okay, so you've been going to Portugal for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Is that like your home's turf in the summer, or are you going to explore more?
Yeah. No, I definitely want to explore more. That was one of my reasons of coming here, just to be closer to be in Europe so I could freely, because, you know, as an American, it's 90 days on, 90 days off. It's like, that's exhausting. But in the RV, I loved it. And I still do. I mean, Felicia's sitting in storage right now in Florida, probably sweating her ass off. But
she is, because it's super hot here. I'm just saying.
Oh my God. So yeah, I still have the RV. But then what's nice is nowadays, I mean, with what we do, you can do it anywhere in the whole wide world. You just need Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. So whether that's in the RV or it's here in Portugal, and I mean, shoot, I was on San Antonio and Portland live. I've been doing all of these shows right here in Portugal. It's crazy. I think sometimes we forget all of the advancements that we have nowadays, that people are like still keep themselves in this little box. I'm like, you know, you can get out of the box.
You know, that's my whole thing. Like smash it, dance on top, no box.
Yeah, you don't have to stay in the same spot. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, I want to interview someone, but his English isn't good enough and my Korean is definitely not good enough, but he's fascinating. And I was like, I got to find an interpreter. And I don't know how an interpreter would work on a podcast. I'm like, maybe that won't work at all in my fantasy. But what I like about me is like, I'm trying, right? Like I think for me, if you tell me no, I don't care. I'm just going for it. Yeah. You say no. Okay. Not fit for you. Next. Like I was thrilled when you said yes. You're busy. You are busy. You have a lot going on.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love every ounce of it.
All right. So Substack and the next book, you're like a 3-book deal with your publisher.
The next book is called What If?
That makes sense.
I know. What if you actually did all the things that you know you can do and want to do
and like it?
Yeah, that'll have to be 2026 project.
25's half over.
Oh yeah, everything's dedicated to this book. Now, yeah, exactly. The old Wendy would have been like, I can squeeze this in. I'm like, no. Mm-mm. I do know that, and I'm a really hard worker because I love what I do now. Mm-hmm. But I also have realized that if I go on for too long without taking breaks or going to play and laughing and going out to dinner or whatever it is, that I'm like, whoo. So I need that. But that's just learning what you need as you go through the process.
Okay, excellent. All right, so we've come to the end, and my favorite last question, which I like to tell people, I warn people I'm going to ask them this because some people don't like being caught off guard. If you came with a warning label, what would it be?
Caution. Contents may inspire radical change in your life.
Oh, I started with applause. I'm ending with applause. I love it. I like that one. There's no chat GPT in that at all. I like that.
No, it was either going to be that. I thought about that. I was like, or like, better put on glasses because it's about to get bright. Better put on your sunglasses. It's about to get bright in here.
Like, I don't even know how you see the camera without your glasses. Like I've noticed in my interviews sometimes, like I can see myself like looking into the bifocal. It's terrible, but they look cute.
I know. And I've got all the little different thingies.
Okay, Wendy, where can people find you? Where do you want them to go? And where do you want them to get your book? Because it'll be worldwide.
Yes. When does this air? When does this come out? Do you know yet?
No, it will be in the fall. It'll be September, October.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, because the book comes out. The book comes out September 9th. Ooh, everyone, mark 9/9. The best place to go is wendyvalentine.com. That's the main hub for everything. You can find more about the book there. I mean, the book can be found anywhere. It's on Amazon. Of course, it's on Amazon. Barnes & Noble, everywhere. I'm on, as you know, Facebook, Instagram, and now Substack as Wendy Valentine. Wendy Valentine!
Woohoo! Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the Holly Hughes Podcast. And anyone who's listening, go be creative.
Yes, please. Go, 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 go.